Hi, everyone. This is Jody Watkins. I'm the Wellness Community Leader for Convene Communities. I am truly grateful to be here. This has definitely been a long journey, but I wanted to just do this video in response to one of the questions that we've been working through in our Convene Mastermind Group. First off, I just want to say this group has been the best blessing ever in my life. I really just yearn to be around forward-thinking people, but also people with a heart and people who actually care for the greater good. So these people definitely are all of the above and then some, and that's why I know that I truly belong here. One of the questions that was asked is, what is causing us to kick the can down the road? When it comes to kicking the can down the road, that basically means, what are we putting off and why are we putting it off? Well, for me, even though I coach on these things, it's really easy for me to get overwhelmed. I've definitely had to endure a lot of just trying to figure out what works for me when it comes to time management and scheduling, and also learning how to discern opportunities that aren't really serving me. That's pretty much been the biggest one. For me, I have 4 different entities that take up a lot of my time, actually probably more, but 4 that I can think of. So for me, it's my company, To Be Epic Fitness and Nutrition. And there I'm actually onboarding 2 coaches right now with the mission of getting them to the point where they can actually onboard and mentor other coaches. Now, we are using Convene for this as well. So the training is already going to be there for the coaches in the future. But for right now, this is the first time I've ever done this. So it's a lot more time consuming. Also, for the clients that come to us, I am the most seasoned when it comes to all this and using our app and building programs and doing nutrition and all the health coaching and everything that goes along with it. So I have to make sure that our coaches are able to kind of duplicate me when they're on board with a client, because at the end of the day, the coaches are representing the company, and the company, I would love for the company culture to be that we go above and beyond to a certain extent and provide quality programming for those who come to us. This is going to allow other people to tell their friends and their family and have amazing people coming to the company to get, wellness accountability and customized exercise programs, nutrition coaching, Zoom calls, life coaching, health coaching, all of the above. It's a one-stop shop. So that is my priority, because that's my company that I've been working on since 2016, officially in 2017, and then basically starting over in 2019. 2020 was the year when it all kind of finally started coming together. So that's where I'm having to put a lot of my time and my resources right now. Then I have the nonprofit Transitioning Queens Incorporated. Transitioning Queens, I'm the vice president, and my good friend Jada Jordan and I are on a mission to really be able to help moms transitioning out of toxic relationships have some place to go where they feel supported, encouraged, and safe, which is not always the case. And so I'm working with her and making sure that we're able to get some resources for that as well, as far as grants and funding. And I never realized just how much work that was. So that takes up a lot of my time as well. And then I have the entity Breaking Barriers Incorporated. Now, I will say Breaking Barriers Incorporated, the CEO is all God. So I let him bring it in. But I do operate the podcast Breaking Barriers Now. The mission of that podcast is to actually be able to share stories and experiences on an actual podcast platform, to where, and a lot of the people who are coming in, they just have some amazing stories of just, face, fire, and fight, and just being able to get out of their own way. And being able to now help other people. So there's a lot of coaches coming in, which is great, because I'm tying everything into the last one, which is Convene Communities. All right. So with Convene, my biggest, I think, issue right now is just learning how to navigate everything and using what I already have to put into place into the wellness community and also the Convene community. I did start a ministry in it's a spiritual awakening ministries. It's mostly for women, but men can come in too. God doesn't care who comes in. And just really using every avenue that God has given me to be able to inspire other people. I have a God-given gift of writing. I'm finally allowing that to come out a little bit more. I started writing when I was 14. It's how I kept myself sane in a toxic environment that I grew up in. And, I stopped writing for a really long time because I was trying to be everything for everyone else. And in that, I really just began to crumble. And so I've gone back to writing. I'm feeling amazing. I love being able to write. I'm learning how to use my voice now to communicate a little bit more, but I'm such a better writer that I'm trying to just focus on that. So I have the one book, Reclaim Your Life. I'm actually planning on writing another version of that, just to kind of have a little bit more of the backstory of where like the nutrition came from and why I started exercising and why I felt that was important and why discipline plays such a huge factor in consistency and just learning. For me, it's not necessarily I'm kicking the can down the road. I'm just learning how to use the discipline that I have in all these different areas. So it's just going to be, and I coach on time management, I coach on productivity. So it's just going to be me using my own advice and listening to my own advice and really just carving out certain times for certain things. Today, I actually was proud of myself. I turned on my do not disturb. I had an article that was due. I really wanted to get it done because it was on kids' health and nutrition and things that I learned as we were progressing with my daughter's ADHD and then finding out I had undiagnosed ADHD. I was able to check off every single box. So I didn't even go to the doctor. I was just like, yeah, that's me. So I've really learned how to hone in on some of the things that I was learning to help her in order to help myself. And then, oh, by the way, there's a whole lot of other moms and kids out there and dads who are dealing with these things. So if I could share the information that I found out in her journey, and because she was unable to take the medication, so I had to learn some more holistic ways of dealing with it. And so those are things that I wanted to share in this article. I got invited to write this article. So that kind of took precedence as well. So there's going to be those things sometimes. I got invited to be on the cover of a magazine and write a story for that magazine as well and be showcased. So there's those little things, but they're amazing opportunities. And it's not anything that's pulling me away from what I'm already doing. It's just highlighting them. And I know that the more that I'm able to highlight or get highlighted, I guess you can say, the more I'm able to share the bigger mission. And you guys, I never knew how big the mission could be. And when I went through a mentorship program in 2019, it was a leap of faith. It was the last bit of money I had. And I said, well, God, we're going to try this out. And I went through it. And at the end of that mentorship program, the woman that I had been speaking to told me that the Holy Spirit was talking to her and said that I was going to create a huge entity one day that was going to encompass more things that I could ever imagine. And I'm looking at, Convene, and I'm looking at how I'm speaking and writing and helping other people write books. And, you couldn't have told me this stuff. You could not have told me I'd be able to do this stuff. So I just wanted to answer this question in a video because I knew it was going to be kind of long and drawn out. But I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate all the support, all the encouragement that you guys are having for me. Because at the end of the day, I always say, we all need that. I'm no different than anyone else. And I'm just as human as the next person. I've just been doing some things a little bit longer. And that's the only reason why I'm able to help other people in those areas. So I'm going to get it together. I'm going to stop kicking the can. Thank you guys for believing in me and have a blessed day.